Oh, baby, I'm a Democrat. All I do is give people money, and they vote for me. 'Cause I'm a Democrat. I'm a good person. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. My name is Christopher Belly. I'm a certified CPA accountant. I'm a fake boglehead investor. I'm author of the book Stop Being a Broke Loser. It's on Amazon, and I'm sponsored by SpryTac.com. Go to SpryTac.com, use coupon code VTMyET in the description, and get 10% off 3 items. Combat cargo pants. They're amazing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about how this student loan forgiveness by President Biden, riding with Biden, is going to destroy the U.S. military. Now, I can't really criticize Biden, and I mean, maybe I can, but I'm still in the military. I'm still a reservist. So I can't necessarily say what I want to say or put clown noses on him or whatever. So I'll refrain from that. But we're going to talk about house student loans, this forgiveness, $10,000 if you make under $125,000 a year. I don't know if that's AGI or taxable income. I don't know. And $250,000 if you make under $250,000 a year and you're married like me, because I have a wife, 2 kids, you can get up to $10,000 forgiven or $20,000 if you got a Pell Grant. Okay. Now, I've seen a lot of stuff on YouTube where they're like, "Oh, this is gonna destroy the U.S. military," and "Oh my God, all these veterans, they served, and this is what happened. They got stabbed in the back." Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, the title was actually clickbait. This stupid forgiveness is not going to destroy the U.S. military. In my opinion, I think people join the U.S. military for other than educational benefits. Like me, for example, okay? I don't know if y'all knew this. My dad was in the military for 30 years. I grew up around the military. I've been around it. It's been a part of my life ever since I was a child. And I basically knew I was going to join the military as a kid. And a lot of people in the military, they're actually children of people of, other veterans. It's a very familial thing. A lot of soldiers, airmen, Marines, whatever, they all had parents in the military. And the reasons they joined are various. But in my case, I mean, it was just kind of the thing that I did. I grew up around the military. It was my whole life. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go to college and then I'm going to join the military because I didn't really know what else I wanted to do. So when people go on there and they're like, "Oh, it's done. The military is going to collapse. Nobody's going to sign up for the military." Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If this recession sustains itself, I mean, right now there seems to be like we have really good employment. But if employment ever declines, and people are finding it harder and harder to get jobs, people will flock to the military, regardless if $10,000 of federal student loans got forgiven. Because if you think about it this way, all right, let's say you want to go, let's say you want to join the military for educational benefits, and you look around and you see like 10,000 of loans got forgiven. Well, if you join the military, you still get amazing benefits, like way better than taking out debt and hoping Biden and, the Democrats forgive your debts for you. So let's first of all go look and see why people join the military. Okay. And like I said, a big chunk of people do it for many reasons. A big one is family history. Okay. Now here's a little survey here. Let's go look at the reasons. Call to serve, family history, honor, respect, always dreamt of it, discipline. Look at this, adventure and travel, benefits. Now that could include educational benefits, but there are a lot more benefits in the military. Job stability and pay. If you're an officer, and even as you move up the enlisted ranks, the pay is pretty freaking good. It's a misconception that military pay is bad. It's actually insanely good because not only do you get your base salary, you also get your housing allowance, which is tax-free. It covers your entire mortgage, tax-free money. And every time I collected housing allowance, I spent less than that on my home and my expenses, and I was able to pocket the difference. You get a food allowance. I mean, if you live in the barracks, they'll take it away. But if you live off base, you get a food allowance. That's a couple $100 more a month, tax-free. You have 0 medical expenses. Now, I pay, as a reservist, like $200 It's $200 a month for my family's health insurance. Still pretty freaking cheap, okay? But if you're active duty, at least if you're single, you don't pay a dime. You don't pay a dime for medical care. $0 to health insurance. Now, I never had children in the military. I think there is a small premium you have to pay for TRICARE, but it's nothing. It's dirt cheap, okay? Job stability and pay. And like, it's just amazing. Leave negative environment. I don't know what that means. Job training. You're not going to get much job training in the military. So you can see there's a plethora of benefits. Now, people like to compare the GI Bill to the stupid student loan forgiveness. You go ahead and just take on a bunch of student loans if you want and hope somebody forgives it for you. Or you could join the military, do one tour, get out, and you have the GI Bill. Look at this. Look at these benefits, okay? And the military doesn't even pay me to recruit. I actually believe this stuff. Tuition and fee payments. Public school. All tuition and fee payments are covered by the GI Bill for an in-state student. And if you go to a private or foreign school, up to $26,000 per national maximum. And there's actually this thing called the blue ribbon or yellow ribbon. I never used it, so I forgot what color it was. But there's actually an additional thing that kicks in. I don't know if it's funded by private entities or the military, but it actually covers the rest of your tuition. So I've seen people go to like really nice schools and they don't pay any tuition. Oh, here it is. Yeah. If you're attending a public as a non-resident or a private that is more expensive than the annual cap, you may be eligible for extra payment under the yellow ribbon program. Exactly. You also receive, you just do one tour in the military, you get a monthly housing allowance. Oops. You get a monthly housing allowance, a book and supplies stipend, and a one-time rural benefit for certain veterans, okay? Now, let's look at this housing allowance. And I made bank off of this, okay? So I got most of my tuition paid for. I didn't have the full GI Bill benefit for a big reason. It's because I had the ROTC scholarship, blah, 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 blah. But if you get the full benefit, you don't get an ROTC scholarship. You get a monthly housing allowance, tax-free, $1,800. So your tuition's paid for. You get freaking books, and you get a monthly check. Now, even when I was doing online school, I was completely online. I was getting roughly, this is the online benefit, the 916. I was getting 70% of that. Okay. Every single month, tax-free on top of my regular job. The freaking money with the GI Bill is insane. And it covers your entire freaking education. I was able to get a second bachelor's degree in accounting and a master's in accounting, all paid for. I didn't pay a dime. I actually made money. I profited. You compare that to taking on student loans, getting no housing allowance, and maybe the government forgives $10,000. There's no freaking comparison. Look at this. Yearly book and stipend up to $1,000. My school actually didn't charge for books, so I just banked $1,000. Well, a portion of that. I banked up to roughly $1,000 a year. On top of that, for books, I didn't even have to use it. Free freaking money, okay? So don't listen to these clowns. They're like, oh, it's going to screw the military. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I think this is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, that's what happens in politics, man. People just, they want the free stuff and they vote. And the politicians, oh, you want free stuff? Here you go. That's how it works, okay? So you can't get really mad about it because this is just what you should expect from the government. All right, so that's my little rant. It's not going to destroy the military. People join it for many reasons. And the benefits, like if you can't find a good job, I don't know, join the Air Force and, collect your housing allowance and some food and your pay and no healthcare cost. And then when you get out, you get the GI Bill. Oh, man. And you get veterans preference. If you want to work for the stupid federal government, you can do that too. I did that briefly. It was a waste of my life. I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. That's besides the point. Why are we helping soy boys? Are you still in the Army? Technically, yes. I'm in the reserves. Okay. When are you going to leave the reserves? Actually, probably pretty soon. Strong man, leave the debt. We don't forgive your friendship with Dip Kevin. Dip Kevin? 10K loan forgiveness will save the market. Now, did Jeremy say that? Can somebody send me a link, or at least post a video title where he said that? Because student loan payments have been, they keep deferring them and deferring them. You don't have to pay your loan, bro, whatever. And I don't see how, if this is forgiven, this really moves the market. You think all these like people that are middle class are just gonna take all that money and throw it into the stock market? I don't think so. I think they're going to use it for other purposes. And remember, the majority of the stocks are owned by very wealthy people. They're not owned by, the lower class or the middle class. Were your parents in the military? My dad was. I got lots of jobs training in the military. Choose your rate, choose your fate. You get training, but I don't see a lot of correlation between the military. Unless you do like medical. There's some things that translate, but a lot of things don't. My cheeks got clapped today on speculation plays. We should blame the Fed, bro. Supreme Court might shut it down. Oh, I'm going to laugh so hard. It really isn't a done deal. It really isn't. Because there's like some doubt. Oh, it might not be legal. We'll see. I really don't get this big reaction. We let business owners clap the cheeks of us taxpayers with the PPP. Well, one thing I will say in defense of PPP is businesses were forcibly shut down. Like they would have died because the government locked down the entire country. So it would have been unfair to not loan these businesses money and just let them freaking die because the government said so. Okay, so it's a lot different from you getting voluntarily shut down by the government than going and taking a student loan and then just expecting it not to be paid because, people come up with all sorts of reasons. It's self-interest. Oh, I don't want to pay the debt, but I'll find some justification in my head to make it sound like, it's a good moral thing. People love debt. Sweet, sweet instant gratification. Oh, yeah. Pile up the debt, baby. Yeah, there was a lot of fraud in PPP, but people point to that. They're like, oh, see, some people did, some people got away with it and it was BS. The government just crapped out a bunch of loans to everybody, but it did help people and businesses survive that were forcibly shut down because of the pandemic. Why aren't you? Oh, God. I'm done with the military, please. Please dump on LeFou. Claim silver will 10x. I'm sure it will. How much do they really emphasize woke training in the military? So they always had like sensitivity training. And I remember back in the day, like I was in the Army, active duty from 2012 to 2016. And like once a year, we'd have to go sit in a room and they'd be like, okay, treat everybody equally, blah, blah, blah. Like nobody cared. It was kind of like a joke. But I've noticed a trend and it got really bad. I've started to see it more and more. Like when I was working at NASA, for example, it's throughout the federal government now. You would get like an email every day about some diversity thing. Not like once a week or once a month. It was like you would just get bombarded with emails. This, that, every freaking day. It got insane. And it just got to the point where I was like, this environment is probably not conducive to people of my ancestry. I'm not joking. And I think it's starting to pervade or like really get into the military too. Because I'm not against like, okay, you want to have like you want to have sensitivity training, okay, treat everybody equally. And I always did. But when you just get bombarded, like it's almost every day in the federal government, probably in the military now, it's like too much crap. It's like, well, this is okay, I get it. We'll treat everybody with respect. I don't need a freaking email every freaking day about it. And now where I work, guess what? We just do our jobs. It's great. I love it. Can't put clown noses. I'm not taking that risk because he's technically my boss. You know what I'm saying? He's the commander in chief. So I love you, President Biden. I love you. If Kevin actually quits YouTube, he will continue to pay. I don't know. How are the pension plan? So they changed it. So now you get, if you retire at 20, you get 40% of your salary and you get a match to your thrift savings plan. That's the new plan. The old plan, you got 50% of your salary. And the longer you serve, the bigger your pension is. I will. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I had the same experience when I was in. Like, it really wasn't, like, nobody cared. We had people of all races in the military, and I didn't see any issues. We maybe had one sensitivity training. Everybody laughed about it. But when I was working for NASA, it was, like, crazy. Like, I'm talking about over the top. Like, every day, getting emails. Oh, this, that. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I think it's starting to pervade the military too. I've noticed that, like with reserve required training, It's been a lot more. Tesla by Isla. Feel bad for Jeremy. Unprofitable. Oh, buying unprofitable small cap growth stocks when there's inflation and we're about to raise interest rates. That's a great idea, bro. More people use their GI Bill for apprenticeship programs. You get paid from your job and the GI Bill. Yeah, I got paid when I was an apprentice at NASA. I had my NASA salary and I had the GI Bill. I was doing pretty good. No, it's forbidden. Please dump on Chris. Chris Sane is just not even worth talking. He's so stupid. Are you hopefully wearing pants? That's secret. I can't tell you that. Imagine LaFou or Ape Father in the army. All right, so I haven't really done much research into this whole audit deal. I'll go look in the SEC website, and if I have time tonight, I'll maybe pump out a video. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot more weighing down Chinese stocks than just the audit deal. I think if the audit deal actually is official, that's a big step in the right direction, because once delisting is off the table, and then, at some point the Chinese economy recovers, hopefully they stop locking down all the time and they work out the real estate problems, which we've had real estate problems, but I guess people ignore that. At some point, I think it's going to be good news for all these Chinese stocks, but it might be a while. You got to be patient. The best dunk on is how dumb Dave Ramsey is. He told people to pay off their student loan debt. Well, I actually agree with Dave Ramsey on this, because you can't just sit there like, oh, I hope the government forgives it. And if this thing is struck down by the Supreme Court and you just deferred your loans, you're screwed. You should have just paid it off with zero interest. I actually agree with that, because you can't trust politicians, man. Jeremy is warning you. Be very careful. Is he? Have you seen the recent media with everybody taking a video how China is collapsing? Yeah, I might do a video on that. I mean, honestly, my thoughts about the whole thing, nobody really knows. But you go back and you look at history, the markets have collapsed. Economies have collapsed. We had a Great Depression in the United States, okay? We had stagflation. We had the Great Recession, okay? Disasters. And we're stronger than ever. And it's like, oh, China's collapsing. It's never going to recover. I tend to be more positive, and I think people work things out. And I don't think the Chinese economy's done. Maybe that's just like the optimist in me, but you got to remember there are geopolitical rivals, so a lot of it could be propaganda. China pays me, by the way. Just kidding. Graham is guaranteeing Chinese. I mean, okay, think about it. When you hear something on YouTube, do you trust it? These are the same clowns that were probably telling you to buy all the clown stocks and crypto. Oh, I saw this article about the Chinese economy. These guys don't understand the Chinese economy. And honestly, I'm not saying I'm an expert on the Chinese economy. Okay, I'm not. I don't know that much about it, but I can tell you it's a much less developed country than the United States, and they got a lot more room to grow. You look at the growth rates of the projected growth rates of the U.S. economy, 1-2% per year in real terms. Wow, that's really some crazy growth right there. North Korea is still around, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's propaganda. Oh, it's the end, bro. And then we have a freaking real estate collapse and the Great Depression, and we're still here, stronger than ever. And we had to fight the Soviet Union. Oh, communism almost took over the world. Oh, we're still here. I don't know. I'm an optimist. The SoFi Bank CEO is sleazy. He's been saying for a while Biden will cancel. I don't like SoFi. What would Jeremy's job be in the military? What would Jeremy do? I'm trying to think of the most scammy job in the military. Actually, I won't say it, because there's a job that I think is like kind of a scam in the military. But then again, I would probably offend some people, so I'm not going to say it. But we'll just move on. I'm bullish on North Korea. They have a lot of room to grow and expand. No, they don't. Okay, at least China does have a big capitalist element to their economy. North Korea is literally like almost communism. Well, socialist. It's not really communist. Socialist. Can I get back my money from paying off my student loans? Yes. Call 1-800, I don't know, free money. If China goes down, everybody goes down. It's doomed, bro. Graham Stephan said so. They're never going to recover in 1,000 years. They're just going to be a destroyed shambles. Would you buy mortgage-backed securities in your retirement? Well, I buy VT. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe for some way I have exposure to it, but I don't have any debt instruments. Be a fluffer. Do you think the Russian market will recover? I mean, I don't know. I can tell you, I don't think Russia's finished. Okay, here's the thing with Russia. Russia fought this war with this country in Europe called Germany. And this was a war of extermination. The Germans in World War II literally wanted to conquer all of Russia and enslave their population and eventually probably kill them off and allow the German people to expand into Eastern Europe and settle and colonize. Okay. And the Russians lost, 27 million people? And it was just like, it was the most bloody thing you could possibly imagine. And Russia survived, and they actually came out very powerful, the USSR. And I mean, that lasted for another 60 years. So people are like, oh, Russia's done. I mean, they invaded Ukraine. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Russians are different now than what they used to be, but I don't think Russia's finished, okay? And they're probably benefiting from all these high oil prices. They're probably making a freaking fortune. My grandpa was an MP. All he did was patrol for drunks, but he was the biggest drunkard. Well, there's a lot of drinking in the military. I used to drink a lot. What's up, strong man? I'm almost done with my military contract. Need guidance on getting out and moving towards accounting. Well, I mean, you got the GI Bill. Use the GI Bill. I mean, start taking classes now, if you can, and then use the GI Bill. I mean, you might need a part-time job, but that's really all you have to do. Germany fought in Ukraine mostly. Don't forget that. Bussy boys weren't allowed in the military when he was of age. And there's a lot of clowns in the military. Look at the ruble to USD if you want a good laugh. Let's go look. Is it getting stronger? Yeah, it collapsed, and then now it's shot up. Russia's finished, bro. I'm telling you, yeah, collapsed right around the invasion, for obvious reasons. And then now it's shot back up higher than it was before. That is funny. I mean, they're making a killing off of oil, probably. Killing. Oh, Russia's finished, bro. I'm an optimist. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but I think people will overcome and countries will overcome things and become better in the long run. You don't have to run in Afghanistan. The spring showers were 150. The spring lows were 150 to 1 for the ruble. Putin's worth more than. I mean, it's not funny, but it's just kind of like, oh, Russia's finished, and then now they're probably making a freaking fortune. I wonder how much a ruble is worth on the currency black market. I don't know. I don't work in the black market. All right, guys, I might read up a little bit on this audit deal. I don't know if it's actually like signed and inked, but it could be BS or it could be a thing, but I don't know. Don't forget to check out SpryTac.com, my sponsor. You can get some delicious, comfortable cargo pants. And if you use the coupon code VTMyET, description of the video, you get 10% off 3 items and free shipping. So check out SpryTac.com. I did a review video a couple videos ago. You can check that out. Some pretty decent pants. I like them better than the military pants. And you guys have a wonderful, delicious day. Cheers!